Let's not just be champions abroad. We also need to tell you that we are fully on the ground at home. And that's why my guys are here. Yemi and Femi are here. And they have all the updates for you. Guys, I feel like I should just take the back seat. Just stay on this side and listen to what you guys have to say. I mean, Yemi, what's up? What's the latest? What's going on the domestic scene?
Well, a lot of this happening. The DStv Premier League, a lot of grassroots tournaments being planned. As you know, a lot of matches will be played tomorrow in both conferences. But it's in the news that the NBBF have sanctioned 2 teams as Plateau Pigs and Royal Hoopers. The details will probably come up on your screen for actions inimical
to the game.
to the growth of the game. One of them didn't show up at a match venue. Some had their fans turn off the lights when
very bizarre incident.
Well, all right. I think that's it on the screen. Yeah. Plateau Pigs and Royal Hoopers.
What actually happened in play 2 was the fact that Gombe Bulls were actually going to win that game if they took the shots. They tied the game, and then the clock ran out, but they were fouled on the play. So they had a chance to get the free throw. You can always shoot your free throws even when time has expired in basketball. So they had a chance to go for a free throw. Then the fans took over and then they took off the lights. But however, the NBBF actually sanctioned Plateau Pigs for actually even abandoning the game. They could have as well told their fans to go out or go back to their seats, and then they take the free throws. Perhaps they might even miss. And then we'll go to overtime.
And there's the safety issue as well. I mean, your fans can't just encroach.
Can't just encroach. The officials too, who will take care of them and all that. So the NBF, we actually stamped their foot, on that and said we won't allow this, in the game, and we need to, start getting things right. For Royal Hoopers, we saw it coming, for not showing up. So it's a forfeit, and what that means is that they will get no points and no scores will be recorded, and those things might actually play, a vital role when it comes to playoff time. Because when you don't,
when it comes to staying up or going down,
exactly. Because for the game of basketball, showing up alone gives you 1 point, winning gives you 2.
Win or lose.
So now you have 0, and that might just be a factor at the end of the day, when going through. But actually, I would say they actually turned out a big warning to other teams too, that if any team, perhaps wants to do, as it pleases, they might get the boot from them.
Okay, let me come to you. Let me come to you guys. What do we have this weekend? Fixtures of games in the Atlantic and the Savannah conferences. I'm sure you have update for us, and we'll also hope that you'll be able to see it on screen as well. Fixtures of some of the games to be played this weekend.
Interesting games.
And interesting games, Femi, because some of these games start as early as Friday. And they are games that people should just go and enjoy. The different centers across Nigeria.
Yeah, for the pick of the week, I think I'll take the Kano Pillars Mark Mentors game, from the
Savannah conference,
because those 2 teams are...
Okay, let's start with, since this is on screen already, we can read through this for us. Atlantic conference fixtures.
Union Bank will take on the Down Warriors, 2 p.m. in Lagos, national...
Tomorrow or Saturday?
Tomorrow.
Friday.
All games on Friday.
All games on Friday.
The Islanders will take on Oluyole Warriors, 4 p.m., also in Lagos. Customs will play Royal Hoopers, that's in the evening at 6 p.m. Kwara Falcons will take on Police Baton. That one will be in Ilorin. And for the Savannah conference, the one he just talked about, some of the interesting fixtures right there. Kano Pillars will take on Mark Mentors, Kada Stars will take on Plateau Pigs, Immigration will take on Niger Potters, and Gombe Bulls will take on Bauchi Nets.
All right, so these are the fixtures for you from the Atlantic and the Savannah conferences. Femi, you're talking about the pick of the pack for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk about it from the Savannah and the Atlantic conferences.
From the Savannah conference, I'll pick the one Kano Pillars versus Mark Mentors. Both teams are unbeaten so far, and they are simply one of the most exciting teams, to watch. This season, the Mark Mentors team, they've been making a lot of noise that they want to win the league this year, and they have the squad that can win it. New coach, new players, and these guys are firing on cylinders. From the Atlantic Conference, definitely it has to be the Union Bank to Down Warriors game. Very hot rivals, rivalry in between.
Like a derby. If it was football, it was a derby.
Yeah, derby between both sides, and very experienced players. And surprisingly, both teams to share a couple of players. 2 players left Down Warriors last season for Union Bank this year.
2 players moved in the other direction.
The other direction. So it's going to be very feisty, very competitive. And the fact that both teams are also on a good run, They won their games last week, and the Dodan Warriors won their rescheduled game on Tuesday against Kwara Falcons. A very narrow win, 63-62.
Yeah. I was going to come to that. Kwara Falcons have been amazing. I've been surprised by the results they've been churning out.
Totally amazing. Totally amazing. They just have 2 players, who have experienced league basketball before. So it shows that.
And of course, the tragedy of losing some of their players.
One of their players. Start of the season.
So they've really shown a lot of cohesion in terms of teamwork, and their coach is very upbeat. When he talks with confidence, and he says his players is giving them a free role. They should express themselves because this is a stage for them to show. And they're really showing it. They fight. They defeated Union Bank in Lagos. They came to Lagos on Tuesday. They almost defeated Dodan Warriors. Dodan Warriors won by the skin of it. Just in the last second of the game, they got a free throw and they won that game. So Kwara Falcons look good. I'm not going to write them off. Perhaps they might just make it to the playoffs this year.
Okay, Yemi, let's talk about the women very quickly.
Yeah.
What's going on with the women? Zenith Basketball Women League.
First phase concluded. And after 7 games in Group A, First Deepwater lead the log, won 7 games, like Femi was trying to explain the other time, when the points you get when you win your game. So they have 14 points, won 7 games, followed by Sunshine.
Okay, that's it on the screen.
Yeah,
followed
by Sunshine Angels, won 6, lost 1, 13 points. IGP Queens, Delta Force, Immigration, GT 2000, Oluyole Babes, and Taraba Hurricane.
Taraba Hurricane. Taraba Hurricane. The 7 points they have are 7 points for just showing up.
in that order. That's Group A.
Okay.
And they do not hurricane anybody.
This is
Group A.
Yeah. Let's see Group B. Group B, First Bank.
Yeah, surely.
First Bank, first on the log.
I mean, as expected, you would expect them to top the league. First Bank, followed by Dolphins, FCT Angels, Plateau Rocks, that's Customs. You have Benue Princess. That's the first 6, and the other 2 teams that make up Group B, because you have 8 teams. You have HIP Queens and Coal City Angels. So that's just Group A and B, showing number of games that you win, number of games and the number of points. Some just showing up and taking the solitary point.
Well, let me come to you, Femi. I mean, you saw a lot of the games, particularly for the women. What can you say about the quality? I mean, it's been First Deepwater. There was a time for like 10 years it was First Bank. Yeah.
I think the level
powers have changed hands now.
Powers have changed hands, really, and there's a whole lot of competition. Because I watched the game, I think the 5th day, it was Customs and Union Bank. Union Bank almost lost that game. Right on the very death, of the game, they took it by the scruff of the neck, and they won that game, by just 8 points, 42-31. Very close in the 4th quarter. So it shows that teams are beginning to compete, with the big girls. Although the big girls are not, no longer sitting it pretty and saying they'll ride it on. And even surprisingly, FCT Angels lost at home, to a certain Plateau Peaks. It was not expected, because last year FCT Angels were in the playoffs and they look good. If you look at the caliber of girls they have on their team, yet game still fought. But the commendation must also go to Dolphins. Dolphins, yes, they upset First Bank, last year in the playoffs to get to the final. However, First Bank, paid them back, in their own coin, defeating them, in the game. But Dolphins, too, credit must go to them. They scored, in NBA style. They scored over 100 points. The only team to have done that, in the first phase. They won and 101, in their game to 62 against FCT Angels in front of home crowd. But we must also say credit must go to First Bank. Well, First Deepwater, too, because they completely showed their class. The highest scoring team. They average 75.4 points, per game, during the play. So it's all interesting. We are looking forward to the second phase in Ilorin, come the 1st of May to 9th. The gap is a bit questionable because it's a month layoff, but the teams requested for it, and the NBF just had to let them go. They said they want to come back home, prepare more, because they've seen the level of competition. And if you even look at it, it's 7 more games, and anybody can still get in. If you can just take your 7 games, and
get in and part of the
as hard as it looks, so that's the reality.
Top 4 from both sides of the
come for the
final 8 here in Lagos.
All right. Before we close the show, the final part of our show tonight is about IK Diogu. IK Diogu, an amazing story for IK Diogu, getting recognition from outside. Guys, this is good. This is good for IK Diogu.
Yeah, he's co-captain of the Nigerian national team.
Yes, of the D Tigers.
And he's doing well. Unluckily, he was dropped from the New York Knicks, prior to the season, but fantastic guy. He was named man of the month, you know, in the NBA D-League, you know, for March. You know, he averaged 21.4 points per game and 12.3 rebounds, you know, per game. Out of 13 games that he played in March, he averaged 12 double-doubles. That he had double figures in scoring and rebounding in 13 games, you know. 12 games, he had double figures. Fantastic guy. He led his team into 7 straight winning games, and they won 7 games, you know, on the road out of 13 games. So a fantastic one for the guy.
All right, so that's a good one from Ike Diogu. Let me find out word from you as we wrap up the show.
Yeah, I'm just hoping all of the individual performances will translate into something for the D-Tigers, and I hope that everything that the Federation is planning, some we've heard about, some we're yet to see. I hope, because basketball is growing in Nigeria, and I hope the growth, you know, the rise continues for a very long time to come.
All right, let me close the show by reading a few comments on Twitter as we wrap it up this Thursday. Vincent Akimbami talking about LMC and Nembe says the league management company should know that Nembe is a company, so it shouldn't be about Barry Bote. The question should be, have they met the requirement like others? That's what he's saying, and I think that's what we also need to clarify. Have they met the conditions? It shouldn't be about whether Barry Bote or no Barry Bote. It's a company. It's not on the board. It's the owner, but some other people are running it, so it shouldn't really be about him. Joy Forever 74 says, thank God Nembe is in as well, and it says, thanks so much for the publicity. We are not that we're giving Nembe publicity. We're just stating the things as they are from the side of the LMC.
Laying the cards on the table.
From the side of the LMC and from the side of the clubs. And I think we are arriving at progress, which is what we want to do on the show. I think, guys, I must thank you so much for your time. We'll be back next week.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I think we'll call this segment Courtside.
Yeah.
Courtside.
Courtside.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
This segment will now be called Courtside from next week. So it will be Courtside with Yemi and Femi. But for now, we have to wrap it up and say thank you to you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.